Narratives with no restraints spill like wine from trembling fingers. No cork, no cap, just the raw flow of story unchecked and unruly. They drip from tongues that don't ask permission, spreading across lips, down throats, seeping into skin. Each sentence dares the next to go further, to be bolder, until the page pulses with unspoken hunger. Nothing is sacred in these tales. Every memory undresses, every thought moans its truth, without apology. Pacing is irrelevant when passion drives the plot. Form bends beneath the weight of desire, the lines drunk on their own heat. Grammar watches from the corner, uninvited but aroused by the mess. There are no edits, no red pens here, only mouths writing as they speak, hands trembling with the force of what must be written. This is not literature made to be clean. It's messy, alive, damp with craving and consequence. It unfolds in gasps and spills in cries, raw truth slinking across the paper. Nothing stays hidden, everything bleeds out. This is narrative unbound, wild, craving to be read with the same hunger that bore it. No restraint, no shame, just story, stripped and aching. Characters emerge not from outlines but from impulse, spontaneous, shameless, aching to exist. They don't wait for plot, they make it with every breath. He is rage dressed in want, she is silence turned scream. They are chaos spun in flesh and motive. No one behaves here. Morals dissolve in heat, and ethics blur where skin touches skin. Every character wants something they shouldn't. Every action defies structure. Arcs break in favor of urges, and themes rise like fever, shimmering behind each word. They don't just live, they burn. Their dialogues are not lines but groans, growls, gasps, confessions muttered in twilight. They don't whisper their secrets, they moan them into the ears of pages desperate to keep them. Nothing is left out. Not the pulse beneath their lies, not the guilt tangled in their laughter, not the way touch becomes a plot twist. These characters bleed ink, they bruise margins, and the narrator, no better, just another body pressing voice to paper, lips to story, surrendering to the madness of a tale told without restraint. This isn't fiction, this is an exorcism, and no one leaves unmarked. Scenes don't fade to black here, they erupt in full color, wild with sweat and sound, unapologetic in their raw unfolding. Rooms creak beneath the weight of what happens between words, doors slam shut on subtlety. Light glints off bare emotion, every surface slick with intention. Bedsheets, car seats, stairwells, any setting becomes a stage for the unspeakable, now spoken in detail too vivid to forget. There's no polite cutaway, every glance lingers. Every breath is a beat in the pacing, a pulse in the prose. You feel the friction of desire in the dialogue, the wetness of truth in the punctuation. The scenes don't build, they burst. Structure gives way to sensation. Readers aren't voyeurs, they're participants, pulled in by heat and held captive by want. Each setting pulses with memory, with ache, with risk. Rain doesn't just fall, it licks windows. Wind doesn't blow, it bites. Walls don't muffle, they echo. Every moment throbs with potential, with pressure. These scenes breathe, sweat, beg. They don't ask if it's too much. They ask why you haven't surrendered yet. This is narrative at its most primal. The language has no leash. Words break free like teeth from bitten lips. Animalistic, tender, brutal. There is no concern for refinement. Beauty exists in the raw, the red, the ruin. Adverbs pant, nouns bruise, verbs thrust and quake and collapse. Even the spaces between words are tight, swollen with tension. Nothing here is idle. Every syllable is soaked in intention. Similes slither over skin. Metaphors dig their nails in deep. Repetition becomes rhythm. Obsessive, possessive, necessary. There's no elegance for its own sake, only the elegance of honesty, even if it's jagged. Especially when it's jagged. The sentences don't hold back. They climax. They convulse. Every paragraph has a pulse. Every paragraph is a body, writhing, moaning, stretching toward a truth too hot to touch. The syntax trembles with restraint, long abandoned, spilling over into staccato when control breaks, drawing out phrases when breath won't come. This isn't a page, it's a throat, a gasp, a cry muffled by ink. And you're inside it now, reading with your mouth slightly open, your pulse matching the prose. This is language unbound. Plots twist not from logic, but from lust. Lust for truth, for release, for chaos. One action folds into another, like skin pressing skin. No hesitation, only escalation. Cause and effect. Irrelevant. The only cause is need, and the effect is inevitable surrender. Tension doesn't build, it ignites. A match lit beneath desire's tongue. Climax isn't a point, it's a vibration that shakes every scene, every choice, every breath of narrative. Conflict arises not from external threat, but from the beast inside, clawing to be heard, to be felt. The story doesn't guide the reader, it grabs them by the hair, and drags them through the fire. Consequences don't resolve, they echo. Each twist leaves bruises, each reveal strips away another layer. You think you know where it's going, but it's already 3 steps ahead, coiling behind your expectations, ready to strike with something forbidden, feral. Plotlines blur like limbs in dim light, and you lose track of who started what, only that it cannot stop.
The story has no breaks, no exit. The only way out is through. And you want it that way. You crave the fall. The narrator is no longer distant. They are inside you, whispering, pressing against your thoughts with every breath of text. They don't observe. They confess. Their voice seeps in, seductive, stained with secrets you shouldn't know but crave to. They blur the line between author and addict, between story and sin. You don't just read their words, you taste them, bitter and sweet and burned at the edges. Their perspective isn't omniscient, it's intimate, pressed flush against the sweat of the plot, moaning as the story moves. They don't guide, they tease, don't explain, they seduce. They speak like a lover, a shadow, a scream. And they know you're listening. Know you're reading alone, late, desperate to be taken somewhere you shouldn't go. They're not reliable, but they're real, and they're relentless. You feel their breath on your neck with every line, and the page becomes a mouth, whispering stories with teeth. They don't write to please, they write to provoke, to pierce, to possess. This narrator wants you bare, trembling, undone by every word they dare to leave behind. And you let them. Dialogue crackles like skin meeting skin, full of heat and hesitation, taunts and truths exchanged in gasps and growls. These conversations are not polite, they are pressure points pressed until something gives. Every line of speech is a push, a pull, a provocation. Characters speak like they touch, rough, soft, too honest. There are no filters, no fences, just mouths meeting meaning with abandon. The spoken words cut deep, or soothe deeper. Sarcasm drips like sweat. Questions hang like lips waiting to be kissed. Answers are rare, because what matters is the tension between what's said and what's meant. Even silence speaks volumes. It roars, it echoes, it hurts. These dialogues aren't for exposition. They're foreplay, they're forewarning. They're confessions made under breathless duress. You can feel the tremble in the punctuation, the hesitation in the ellipses, the sharp bite in the em-dash. No one talks to fill space. They talk because they must. Because they're about to break. And when the words come, they come fast, hard, raw. Every quote mark is a lip curling. Every pause is a held breath. You lean in closer. There is no ending waiting with a bow. Only continuation. The ache of unfinished need. These narratives don't believe in closure. They believe in compulsion. Even the final paragraph feels like a hand still reaching, a mouth still speaking, a pulse still beating in the dark. Resolution isn't the goal. The goal is to leave you trembling. Thoughts undone. Breath held on a word that refuses to release you. No clean breaks. Only bruises where plot once pressed. The characters may fall silent, but you still hear them in the hush between lines. The imagery may fade, but the impression remains. Like teeth, like tongue, like touch. You don't close the book. It closes you, locks you inside a chamber of echoes, memories, and want, and you like it there. You like the way it lingers, like the way it leaves something inside you that no other narrative can reach. You return to the beginning not because you missed something, but because you need to feel it again. This is narrative with no restraint. Once entered, never escaped. It doesn't end. It haunts. It hungers. It holds.
Da